early voting will run through the next 2 weeks through March 18th. The 50 ward early voting sites will be open weekdays from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Saturdays from 9 to 5, and Sundays from 10 to 4. All these early voting sites, including this downtown super site, will also be open on Election Day, March 19th, from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. A voter living in Chicago may choose to vote at any early voting site that's convenient for them, no matter where they live in the city. In addition, all of our early voting sites at this time are fully compliant with the Americans with Disabilities Act. For all those of Chicago eligible voters who are not yet registered to vote or who've had an address or name change, we also provide same-day voter registration services at any one of our early voting sites. That means that you may register for the first time, you could file an address change or a name change, and then cast your ballot during that same visit. Just bring with you 2 forms of ID, one of which contains your name and address. Whether it's the site closest to your home or to your job, where you do shopping, where you exercise, simply come to one of the 50-plus locations and check in with board staff, and you can vote on the spot. We also have 25 early voting sites where bilingual voting officials will be on hand to assist voters in their preferred language. Today, we have board representatives and advocacy organizations present who will talk more about this and other language access resources heading into Election Day. The March 19th primary is only 2 weeks away, so we're urging Chicago voters to vote early, avoid the last-minute interruptions in life that can interfere with voting, and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with getting your civic duty out of the way. This is our 18th year of early voting in Chicago, and we've come a long way since 2006. Now, hundreds of thousands of Chicago voters prefer to early vote each year. Currently, over 2,700 voters have already early voted for the March 19th primary election, but we expect a big increase in early voting as the 50 ward sites open for voters today. Vote by mail is also off to a robust start in Chicago. Currently, we've received over 165,000 applications to vote by mail. To voters who have requested a Democratic vote by mail ballot for the March 19th primary election, we appreciate your patience. Due to the court order that removed Ashanta Rice as a candidate, all Democratic ballots had to be reprinted and prepared to mail. These ballots started mailing last Monday, February 26th, and now we're caught up. So you should be receiving an email confirmation when your ballot is shipped, and please check your spam folder just in case that email went into your spam. You can also check on your ballot's mailing status by going to your voter information page at chicagoelections.gov. Now, a word about secure drop boxes. Secure drop boxes for vote-by-mail ballots are also now open in all 50 ward sites. If you have your vote-by-mail ballot completed and do not want to put it in the mail, you can now drop it off in one of our secure drop boxes at any early voting location, or at 69 West Washington, or here at the super site. Voters have until March the 14th to apply for a vote by mail ballot, but we urge voters not to wait. If you would like a vote by mail ballot, please apply apply for it today, just go to our website, chicagoelections.gov, and you can do that right away. Finally, we know that there have been many questions from voters about the ballot status of the citywide referendum question and for the Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump. The Supreme Court just a few minutes ago issued a decision keeping Donald Trump on the Colorado ballot. We will keep apprised of what the Supreme Court here does. Nevertheless, voters will continue to see these voting options on their ballot, and we urge voters to vote their ballot to their preference. Your ballot will not be rejected because you voted or did not vote on a particular race or question. And to be clear, early voting and vote by mail will not be paused in Chicago. Voting will continue as normal through Election Day, March the 19th. If voters have any questions or issues, we are here to assist you. You can call us at 312-269-7900 or email us at cboe@chicagoelections.gov. Thank you, and I'll take any questions.
So how does this stack up with the just over 2,700 early votes compared to 2020?
Well, actually, and it's very interesting, because at this point in the 2020 and 2016 presidential primaries, at this time we only had 1,900 early votes. And today we have 2,702 votes, and that's given the fact that we had to close down early voting for a few days. So I'm optimistic about early voting surging and having a good turnout.
Over the last two cycles, how has voting by mail compared to early voting? What are the trends?
In terms of voting by mail, well, we have seen, in terms of applications, as I said, we've had 160,000 applications, and I could compare it to the municipal and midterm elections where we had over 200,000 vote by mail applications by this time, so it is a little slower.
Question from Charlie Wojciechowski via phone. Go ahead, Charlie.
Commissioner, thanks for taking the question. Charlie Wojciechowski, calling my phone with health insurance here. Can you explain to voters what's going to happen to the ballots that gives for things like the Chicago home measure, where it's still in the indeterminate status in the courts? If I cast my vote one way or the other, what happens to it? And if it goes one way, what happens? If it goes another way, what happens?
With regards,
Does that create confusion for voters, and how does that affect your office?
well, with regards to the referendum you're talking about, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we can only follow orders from the court. And the court at this time has ordered us to not count those votes. So it's still proceeding to the appellate court and possibly the Supreme Court. So we will just follow what the court says. If the court continues to tell us to repress those votes, we will do that. We will not count them. But we are telling voters to, if you would normally have voted on that referendum, to please continue to do so, because we really don't know ultimately what the court will say and order us to do.
And you mentioned that 25 sites out of 50 are going to have bilingual judges. But as far as the audio ballots are concerned, all 50 sites are going to have
All audio, all touchscreens will have translations in all the languages. Yes.
Are there any projections or estimates of how many people, eligible voters, will be voting in this election compared to municipal elections last year, which was pretty low?
Well, all I can tell you is let's look at prior presidential primaries. In 2012, we had a low turnout with 315,000 ballots cast. That was a 24% turnout. In 2016, on the other hand, we saw an 810,000 ballots cast for a 53% turnout. We think this year will be somewhere in the middle in terms of total ballots cast.
Do we know what it was in 2020?
Yes, in 2020 we had a 37% turnout with almost 576,000 ballots cast. What's interesting is in those years, in 2016 and 2020, we had 1.5 million registered voters. Presently, we have 1.7 million registered voters. So that's a great increase in the number of registered voters, and we're hoping that they'll come out enthusiastically to vote.
Do you have any opinion on some of the calls to write in on the presidential ballot this year, Gaza?
We're not making any comments on that. Thank you. Okay. If there are no further questions, I'm going to continue the press conference in Spanish.
Thank you.
Okay. Gracias por venir. Mi nombre es Maricel Hernández y yo soy la presidenta de la Junta de Comisionados Electorales de la ciudad de Chicago. Me complace anunciar el comienzo de la votación temprana en todos los 50 distritos de Chicago para la elección primaria presidencial